Thank you very much, Yolanda. Good morning to all of you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for having the time to share with us on something new, on Cava, something that builds on the history of Cava. Let me go back maybe very quickly, many years ago, just to tell you that there was a time in which Spain, after several centuries of feudalism and many problems, started to be rich. When the people get rich and they get well, they have an unsurmountable tendency trend to drink bubbles. And it was the invention of Cava. It was at the end of the 19th century, and Cava was invented simply because there was a lot of people who wanted to enjoy life drinking bubbles. And the example for bubbles are champagne, so they imported the know-how from champagne, and it was 1872, Raventos, etc. The president, Javier, has already told you, and it was the invention of Cava, a method, a way of enjoyment. Then what happened later was that here in Spain, 1888, big crisis, a disaster. Then 20th century, we start having 10 years of dictatorship, 3 years of a civil war, 36 years of another dictatorship, a country that was isolated. There were not many occasions to drink bubbles. But nonetheless, there was still a production of bubbles. And after, in the 1960s, there was, despite the dictatorship, there was a creation of a middle class. People who were having hope, who were having things to celebrate. Bubbles were again being resuscitated. And there was a wine that the important thing for this wine was to produce bubbles with a certain quality, with the méthode champenoise. Now it is not allowed to say méthode champenoise, it's méthode traditionnelle, and it was the invention of Cava. At the time it was simply, Cava meant wine that is produced in anywhere where it has been produced before, following the méthode traditionnelle. Because of that, Cava is in several regions. Spain wanted to be part of the European Union, and Spain was trying to adapt its legislation to the European Union. So we invented first what was called a specific denomination, that was the state gave protection to those producers that were producing bubbles according to a certain method, quality method, and that's all. And then we had to adapt to the European Union, and we had to say, and this happens in that and that and that and that region. And this was wonderful. I look very young, but I have a certain age. And I remember when I was a kid, just looking at the television to the spots. There was very famous spots, the Carta Nevada, Freixenet, and those things, they were ambition things for us. For us, just to drink bubbles was something that you were better. And because of that, I feel very proud of Cava. Even the most basic Cava has a very positive element of this. The element that means a country that got out of doldrums in order to be something, to have reasons to celebrate. But the good thing is, the country didn't have another civil war. The country didn't have another dictatorship. The country was becoming rich. The country was being open to the world. We could sell our wines to other countries in the world, thing that was impossible before. Until 1974, the main customer of Spain in the world market was Switzerland. And for the rest of the things, we were selling anonymously, we were selling a lot of wine to be resold anonymously. Unfortunately, this is still the case for 40% of Spanish wine production, but this is another story. And then Spain became more sophisticated. The producers became more sophisticated. And they realized that there was much more to the method for quality wine. They realized that there was something distinctive coming from the vineyard. They realized that there were unique expressions coming from the different ways of cultivation of the vineyard, coming from research for knowing your land much better. They realized that you could produce different things. They realized that they didn't need to look like champagne. They needed to look like themselves. And they were feeling more and more far away from the mainstream cava. That was bubbles, good bubbles. And they were having this anxiety. They wanted to raise the profile of their individuality, their identity, their land. Land is a recent issue in Cava, a very recent issue. But it's a most natural thing. We don't have the history of the monks in Burgundy that were, I don't know what, and these kind of things. We're learning together with the development of this country, together with the openness of this country exporting its wines. And we are in this learning process now. But sometimes when you're in a learning process, there are things that go different. And there were all these criticisms that Javier has been mentioning, the power of the three big companies and the others feeling like this, what happens with so much cava being a cheap wine. I will speak more about cheapness later. And the others, I have a lovely vineyard, very old vineyard, that is giving a distinctive wine. I want to be recognized in this. And Cava at the time, it is not giving this to me. And this is where today here, partly because of that, this is part of a process of the people producing the regulations, approaching little by little the reality, the real thing. But it happens always. First, the real things, and then the regulations coming with this. The basic crisis, Corpinat, Penedès Classic, all the things, is many producers feeling that they were not represented because they were having their vineyards and they wanted to have their identity in this. But there are many, many others that decided to stay loyal to Cava, and they have the same problem. And I hope that one day there will be all of them just staying to the principles and being under Cava, whatever the banner, being sharing this thing because they will be good for the consumers. What did the appellation do after realizing all of these problems? First, to look at the vineyard, to look at the real problems. Javier has mentioned it. I will insist upon it. The most important problem for Cava is the price of the grapes. We have the cheapest grapes on earth. They are not bad grapes, but they are too cheap. Cheap grapes means that there is not going to be any generational replacement because there is no hope of making money. And this is the big problem. But in order to valorize these grapes, you need to transfer this value into the wines. And you need to advance little by little in doing this. First thing, create sonification. But this just to explain to the people, when this is the case, when at a high quality cava, where it comes from. But this is valid if and only if you can taste this difference. You will see tomorrow, I hope, that yes, there is a difference. You can taste even in blind tastings, you can see this is a cava coming from this region and the region. First element. The second element, to work on some of the characteristics that are intrinsic to the cava with our climates and with our autochthonous grape varieties. For instance, we have lower acidity, we can afford to be bone dry. We can afford to be to all of our best wines to be brut nature. You don't need any sugar. And you find your natural balance on this. But when you don't have any sugar, sometimes what you need is an extended aging. We are realizing that good cava, the top cava, The normal cava is the bubbles, but the top cava needs extended aging. You will see all the wines you are tasting today, they have extended aging. By the way, with the wines, I've told the waiters to serve all the wines. And I would appreciate you know about wine tasting much more than me. So please take, and you have the information in this lovely book of all the wines. So please taste them. If you have any question, we provide them. But I wouldn't like to give you an absolutely boring series of 15 tasting notes on 15 wines that you know how to taste them. Just taste them, look at the individual and overall level of quality. I hope that you will see a difference in styles, but also a special ambition in most of the wines, if not all of them. And if you agree, there are 15 wines. I prefer you enjoying them, taking your notes, having your freedom, that you know how to taste this. I continue with the thing, sonification, one area. Working on the technical definition of the wines, extended aging, and wines that are bone dry. And the third, a more important element, the grapes, the traceability of this. We cannot change the market from one day to another. And there is a huge amount of cava that is being sold at those prices, not because the wines are cheap, because the grapes are cheap. This is something that I hope that will change little by little. But with those producers, that they have special grapes, they can control the grapes, they can ensure a certain quality for the grapes and a certain personality, why not having something that is protecting and enhancing them? And this is the raison d'etre of integral producers. The name is not sexy at all, I know, elaborador integral. But this is the meaning, to have a bunch of producers that are keeping under control the whole production process from the vine to the consumer, and that are giving you a certain guarantee of this. This model of business is exclusive for small and medium-sized producers that have a relevant piece of land on them and that they want to assume a responsibility for this. On top of that, all of them they have to be organic or biodynamic. Some of them, they are open in the traceability and they have a commitment for quality. But quality at the end of the day is distinctiveness. And this is what I hope you will see in the wines that you are tasting. Anyway, the producers are here and they will help me to present this initiative. For me, very honestly, I'm very happy to be here because many reasons, but one of them is that I think this is the way of ensuring high quality cava that is protected within the present legal framework and that has a long way to go. This is the way of guaranteeing this. This is not the only way of having top quality on cava. There are other cava producers that they are reply to the original idea of cava in the 19th century. Is people who is buying grapes or buying wines and are aging them. No indication of origin, nothing at all, and some of those wines are really excellent and very much appreciated. So this is not just a parameter like this. This is one element of the parameter, the cava that is built from the vineyard, but keeping the memory and being proud of the past of this cava that was the representation of the creation of joyfulness and hope and richness in Spain. Now we have only 15 producers that are able to be elaborador integral. You are going to know 14 of them because I see one empty chair, so 14 of them. I don't know who is missing. 15 of them, but one of them was not in his chair. This is the thing. So I would like them to come one by one. You know them from each winery. And they will tell you which is just the wine that you are tasting, but they will tell you mostly, very briefly, 1 minute, 2 minutes, what they think about this and how they see the future of Cava. They are the important people in this presentation. Would you agree with this? Good. You taste, You taste, you take your notes, any comment you say, but we are not going to tell you anything about bright yellow colors with bubbles that are very slowly going up and things like this. This, you are going to enjoy this and to see the qualities. You will see there are many different styles. This is one of the greatest things about Cava, that you can have a lot of different styles, and many of the styles are associated to the particular grape varieties and to the particular origins, and you will see as well that there are many individualities, many ways of looking at the wine, but in all cases there is a particular ambition to make out of Cava a high quality wine. Let's start with our producers that are the important people. Let's start with Maite from Vincel Sepp.
Thank you. Aquí, ¿no? Thank you, Pedro. Thank you al Consejo Regulador for this Congress. And first of all, my English is very bad, but I hope do you understand me. I think the most important when we speak about Elaborador Integral, for me, is the soul. We are wine growers, we are winemakers, and I think the majority of the sellers we are here and have the qualification of Elaborador Integral, we start with wine growers, and for us it's the natural path to start with work in the vineyard, with for us we think about our terroirs, and finally our cavas represented the maximum expression of our terroirs, because for us our cavas starts in the vineyards, in our vineyards, and finally when the Consejo Regulador 2 years ago I don't know, nos dio la certificación, in English is difficult for the certificate, yes, well, do you understand? No? For all of us, for example, for Vincel Sepp, was only one question of to have one reconocimiento, ¿cómo es? To recognize it, our work, to recognize it, our philosophy, because we are elaboradores integrals when we beginning to make our cavas in 1980. We start with wine growers 5 centuries ago, and 20 years ago, and 4 years ago we start to make cavas, and we start to be elaboradores integrales. And finally, I think this is we are very happy with their certification. Thank you, and sorry for my English. Okay.
Maite's wine is the Mime Natura Blanc de Noir. You will have it. You will see Vincel Sepp. And now let's come to Maite's neighbor, Chel Juvet, from Juvet Camps.
Well, thank you, Pedro, and thank you to the board just for this event. As my neighbor has said, as Maite has said, for us this is a special occasion because we've been working very hard. All the wineries that are here today, we've been working very hard in order to make this a reality. It's not easy, it's not cheap to control from the vineyard to the bottle, but I think explains who we are as wineries and explains who we are as wine producers. I mean, all of the people that we are here today representing Elaborador Integral, I actually don't know how we say it in English. Don't know if we have a name in English for Elaborador Integral.
Integral producer.
Integral producer. So all the people that have been working for this certification, we share one thing in common, and this thing is that we share the land where our grapes come from. We share this passion for controlling all the process from the beginning to the end. We have been before vine growers, and then we've been winemakers, and I think that's the biggest difference that we have in this group, is that our passion for what we do, and we put it from the beginning to the end. Finally, we have a certification that allows us just to communicate to the world who we are as wine producers. So I would say that's more or less just my comments about this new stamp that I am, as Maite has said too, I'm very thankful to the appellation for having created.
Chef, but you would need a certificate. This seal is enough. Check to have. Once you develop this elaborate concept, you need that the consumer knows that you are elaborador integral.
Well, for us, that's very important. I mean, I think today it sets a beginning for the people to know that elaborador integral is a reality in the appellation. I have the sensation that maybe until now people didn't know very well who we are and what we do as producers, but it's all about communication. And fortunately or unfortunately, I mean, we all need to work with the board in order to make sure that the world knows that in Cava there's this appellation called elaborador integral, sorry. So just we need to work with the appellation in order to communicate about the beauty of this project, that now, as you said, we're 15, but I'm sure that in the time we're going to be more than 15.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Cher's wine is Juve Camps de Millésime, the Charello, the typical variety. Now let's go to a small producer, Josep from Pareto.
Good morning. Thank you, Pedro. Thank you, Consejo Regulador, for the opportunity of expressing our feelings about this seal and to let us explain our project as well. There are a lot of types of wineries and cava and cellars, right? But I feel that I can talk on behalf of my friends that all of us, we like and we love to walk around the vineyards, to see how they grow, to take care of them, to try to bring them alive, to work with the plants, and to get that fruit that after that we will be able to produce our wines and later on our cavas. So for us, that's an important way, a kind of philosophy of how cava should be made. From the vineyard to the bottle, controlling everything, taking care and loving all this process, right? So that's an important issue for us, right? Our landscape or our territory, it's also an important thing for us to take care, to share it with our friends and with our customers as well. And that means that besides producing the cavas, we love to take care of the territory and the land, okay? Quality is also an important issue because otherwise we won't be here. So that this seal allows us to express and to put into value our effort and this sensitivity of producing a cava, right? As I said, quality is important and we try to give the best quality that we are able to do, okay? So I hope you enjoy the wines and please get to know the seal that it's going to be something important in your future, I guess.
Thank you.
So, thank you, Pedro.
His wine is the Attica. This Attica from Parato Vinícola. The founders, some of the founders, Josep Maria from Cansala, that is the Renaissance.
Well, thank you, Pedro. Sorry for the glasses, but I have an eye infection, so it's very contagious, so don't approach to me. So I'm going to wear my glasses. Okay, well, thank you all for coming. And I don't want to repeat myself. I subscribe all the words of my friends. I think that the Elaborador integral producer stamp is very important for us. I think that the Consejo Regulador is giving us the tool to compete with the best sparkling wines of the world. And I would like to focus in the product that you are going to taste. I don't know if you have all the glasses in front of you, but the most important thing is what represents Elaborador Integral. Elaborador Integral represents personality. I think the quality is there, but all of them are very, very different because all of them represent the philosophy of the house. It's because of that we are Elaboradores Integrales. We take care of the vineyard, we take care of the entire process of production. So I hope you enjoy the wines, and well, thank you for coming.
Thank you, somebody else. Thank you. This is the wine is the Cansala 2005. It's been aged for 12 years. And Xavier from Avignon.
Hello, thank you for coming. The organization say that it's possible to make this presentation in Spanish. I change, and I do this in Spanish, okay? Cuando el Consejo Regulador cambió la regulación, el reglamento hace un par de años, de las cosas mejores que hizo fue este sello. Antes no existía y todo el mundo vinificaba y todo el mundo tenía viñedos, pero no, solo 15. Una cosa cuando está certificada tiene un valor. La mayoría de los que estamos aquí sentados somos viticultores, hijos de viticultores, amamos la tierra y eso es un poco la esencia de cada bodega y es lo que se ve ahora debajo del sello del Elaborador Integral. No es más bueno ni mejor ni que los demás, son iguales. Lo que pasa que es la marca, la esencia, las características de cada bodega y aquí es donde se puede ver realmente si un producto gusta, siempre será igual, siempre viene de los mismos viñedos, siempre trabajamos igual. Las características del terroir se ven reflejadas y es, bueno, lo mejor que han hecho.
Muchas
gracias.
There was anybody who didn't understand because of not having? Everybody understood. Good. Let's go to the next one. Marta from Paris Balta. Marta 1. Marta 1.
Open? Marta Paris Valdez. We are a lot of Martas here in this group. And also, thank you. It's an honor for me and for the family to be here to represent with this group of producers that this great achievement, it's one of the best things in these new rules that are with this Guarda Superior, all the zonifications, and also to form this peak of the pyramid that this Gran Guarda Superior, Elaborador Integral, most of them are organic, biodynamic, taking care of the vineyards. Also, a very important thing of this group of producers, Elaborador Integral, most of them are families, all of them are families with their own vineyards that all the time. I remember the grandfather when I arrived to the vineyard, to the winery, he said, Marta, we have these 200 hectares to make the most great wine, to have all in organic way. So it means that the idea, this vision of the families in the past was now this present with this moment that we have this rule to be the natural way of being a producer, Elaborador Integral. This is a natural way. So today we have to celebrate it, that this idea of our fathers, our grandfathers, my grandfather-in-law, father-in-law also, to have all of the vineyards producing your own wine, it's the best thing that we have achieved. So another thing, you are here, communicators, journalists, writers,
we need you to communicate all of this to the world, to understand to all the people internationally when they have a glass of cava in the table. That's a great product that we are making a lot of passion in the vineyard. We are completely involved in the quality. So now we want that you can communicate it everywhere and to show our area, our quality, and these new rules that Cava, Deo Cava, have made for us, and to make the special Greek wines that we are doing here. So thank you, enjoy the tasting, and see you later.
Thank you very much. Something is important. Elaborador integral means that the wines they are producing are upon this principle. You are now tasting one of their wines, but there are many other wines that are produced upon the same principle. It's something that concerns the producer, so it's a full commitment for the whole activity. You know that any of these 15 producers, everything they are going to produce upon their own brand is going to be produced in their own land, upon their own conditions, okay? It's not a seal for a wine, it's a seal for the whole production of a cava maker. Okay, Gemma, our queen of crypta, from Torelló Mata, Agustín Torelló Mata.
Good morning. It's difficult to talk something new after my partners. I think the most important for the integral producer is to get the excellent wines. You can do the good wines with all the soil, but to make something special, something different, something excellent, you have to take care from the grape to this glass. And it's the only way, because the most important is a lot small things. First is organic care of the vineyard. Then is the harvest by hand, very important, the way that you take care for the grape. Then is the press. You can control the less press, and after you make the wine, then the blended. You know, with a traditional method, or method champenoise, after the blended, after to put the bottle, the wine, you cannot intervene anywhere, and you can do anything else.